What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Welcome to the BitLab Academy daily stream. It's been a hectic week. There's a lot going on, and of course, we're going to be talking about all of it. I'm going to give you some of my thoughts. I'm going to give you some context on what's going on in the markets, and also a little bit of my thoughts about what's going on here in BitLab. Here with what's going on with everything in here at Hit Network, and the need for patience, compassion, love, and ultimately respect. Sometimes if you don't know something, the moment for patience and love and compassion, and to let things develop as they may. There's certain things that can be talked about. There's certain things that cannot be talked about. But I just want to assure every single one of you that's watching right now, my heart, I mean, my blood, my heart goes out to everybody here at Hit Network. My heart, my love, my blood goes out to everybody with Ben and Ben's family. And I can assure you without a shadow of a doubt, every single person here at Hit Network wants nothing more than to see Ben take the opportunity, take the path back, because there is one that's laid out before him. And I just wished that there's a lot that we can't talk about, and also morally we don't want to talk about, because out of respect for a brother, you know. And TJ is carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders right now, and the only consideration I can guarantee you, the only consideration with TJ and everybody on our team is love, compassion, respect. And people say, why haven't you offered opportunities? Believe me, that it has been there. And we have to let things, we have to let things unfold right now and give Ben the opportunity that he deserves, right? I will say, Crypto Brat, I can appreciate from and I mean the word ignorance by the literal term of it, from the ignorance a lot of people have in terms of not knowing all the details. I just say, I beg you, I call on everybody, especially here in BitLab Academy, to lean into love and respect and compassion, and just waiting a few days for things to unfold, and just love and respect. I mean, you know, BitLab Academy, we're our own brand, just so everybody knows. We're our own brand. We're our own company. And we also, you know, are under the umbrella of the Hit Network. But this channel, this is all about encouragement, engagement in education, breaking down the charts, you know, coming together as community. And that's what we're doing here. So let's leave that. Let's check our egos at the door. Let's say, maybe I don't know, what can I learn? And that could be about crypto. It could be about somebody else's personal affairs. It could be about any of it. But I love you all. I appreciate each and every one of you. Shout out to everybody here in the chat. I think that we all just need to find that love in our heart. Even if somebody's, you know, frustrated with you on the sidewalk or cuts you off in traffic, nobody cut you off. Somebody changed lanes and you happen to be behind them, right? And in this case, there's a lot going on behind the scenes, and there's information that we can't share out of respect for a lot of different reasons, you know, some of them being legal. And I love you all. I respect you all. Now, and Ben, to Ben directly, I love you, brother. And I'm sorry that this is unfolding as it is. And I just want to call on you to lean into love and family. And with that being said, everybody, let's throw one in chat right now. Everybody, if we're grateful for friends, for family, for opportunities, if we should so take them, even if sometimes they're hard. Now, I love you all. I think it's time we need to jump in, because it's some of the biggest news, and I don't mean to pivot, but we can't make this whole show just about what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling about this, because there's still a lot of things on the table that need to unfold. we got to talk about a little bit. Boom, right here. Grayscale wins lawsuit against SEC. Looks like we have our fundamental catalyst breaking. Grayscale is won. Grayscale wins lawsuit against SEC. I mean, what's going on? What do the charts say? Let's look at it. Holy moly, we're back up over $27,350. Does this mean it's up, 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 and away from here? Who knows? Let's go ahead and break down these charts. We got some, I mean, I may just ignore all the other news today. I'm not entirely sure because this is a major break in the favor for the bulls that were holding on saying, man, I just don't know. Man, I just don't know. Should I sell? Because I can guarantee you there's a lot of people that were holding there. I mean, look at this. Look at this level right here that we've been going across right here. Level, just consolidation and, you know, an attempt to the upside and then a bunch of small failed attempts. And we're barely holding on just right at the weekly VWAP here on the 4. Let's go to the daily. I mean, it's just like, and look at this. This is interesting. On the daily chart, Bitcoin is breaking up. It's testing right at the trend signal line here on the BitLab trading stack, which is also a 50 exponential moving average with a bunch of other data coded into it. We also have cut all the way through this dynamic resistance zone. The question is going to be, is this going to be enough? Does Grayscale winning the lawsuit against the SEC mean that ETFs are coming? Not necessarily, no. It means that the lawsuit essentially was that there was some, I don't want to say suppression, but some unfounded restrictions on what was going on in terms of the findings, some of the things the SEC was doing and limiting in regards to Grayscale. Man, I'm getting so many different messages and everything right now. So, but what's this mean for the markets? You know, in addition to the Grayscale, we also see Avalanche pumping, but Avalanche started pushing up yesterday. Why did Avalanche start pushing up yesterday? Well, there was a report that went out essentially that in Hong Kong, there's a list of certain assets that people were going to be allowed to trade. It was like Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, I think Bitcoin Cash, and they added to that list Avalanche as something that people could trade there, individuals, retail. So that gave this a little bit of a push to the upside. And then of course, Grayscale, anything that's buoying the market right now is buoying any project that's worth its salt. And we can see this also. Look at this quant pushing up, pushing into this order block resistance zone. We also have this diagonal previous support that is resistance that it's coming into now. So can we get through this hurdle? We're seeing that we're on the 2 hour here. We're starting to, this candle has not yet, I didn't want to say starting to, this candle has not yet sort of matriculated into the signals on the momentum indicators. We see the RSI has just skyrocketed to the upside. Let's go ahead and turn on the stochastics. We can see stochastics still flat, but I expect if we look this on a smaller time frame, for instance, the 30-minute, we can see all these things are angled up. We also have, because this is such a new candle, if you're looking at the daily, maybe some of the data from the move that just happened, which was almost instantaneous on the news break, is not going to matriculate into the data on the signals, because the signals, all signals tend to lag. The only thing that does it, that lags the least, is volume. Volume tells you what's happening now, okay? Now, we can see setups, and this is any indicator set out there. You can see setups leading to a likely indication of movement that's setting up to take place. However, when we're looking at things like this, we're looking at the markets, we're looking at the different, you know, charts and signals and horizontal trend lines and diagonal trend lines and patterns. Sometimes, and this is why it's important, especially when we're at this point in the market, if we come back over to Bitcoin, when we're sitting here, if we're looking at this, let's say on the, 1 hour time frame, if we look at this on the 1 hour time frame, this has been incredibly boring. And sometimes in markets, some of the most pain, people, I would argue, a lot of times collectively lose more in these boring parts of the market because they're trying to make something happen. They're trying to catch up to other people that have already established themselves in the market. You see CryptoFace doing a $3 million trade and you have $1,000. So then you're like, man, $1,000 is nothing to trade with. I'm going to do 45x leverage so I can trade $45,000. And then what do you have? 22 minutes later, you've got $1.27 in your trading portfolio because you're trying to catch up with somebody else. Use your strategy based on what your risk exposure is, based on your risk tolerance, based on what your strategy. And sometimes, I don't want to say the boring strategy is the best strategy, but being patient. Love, Bitcoin, patience. Patience comes if you love something. Love allows you to stick with it when it's a struggle. And interestingly, people that were patient here and not going, trying to catch this at a bottom and go 30x leverage long. And this comes up and then it starts, they add to their position and then it comes down, they get liquidated, or this starts falling and you get scared. So then you go, oh, I don't want to miss out of this. And then you sell. And the second you sell, even if you sell on spot, then the price pushes up and then you buy here and then it drops again and you sell. And then, you buy here and then it drops again. It's because you're trading on the greed and FOMO in the market rather than the strategy that you have in place. Now, I do want to just mention, this was all leading up to this main point. You can have all the strategy in the world, and if you forget patience, and if you also realize your strategy may be irrelevant in terms of your TA strategy, not your trading strategy, but if you're only banking on when this line, when it meets this line resistance, it's going to drop based on all my signals and indicators, sometimes you get a news catalyst like this, Grayscale. So let's go ahead. I haven't even seen any of this. Admittedly, this is yeah. So we've had Dr. Jeff Ross on our show here. If you haven't watched that interview, go scroll back in the Daily Alpha section on the BitLab Academy right here. Just scroll down. It's right here in the Daily Alpha. It's one of these in here. It's this one right here. This is, and you should watch this if you have not yet. It's about a little under an hour. It's talking about why the ETFs are so important, what it means for Bitcoin, and why not only Bitcoin, but the crypto asset space. But he says right here, let's go ahead and pull this up. Let's see, Grayscale wins a case against SEC. And I just want to apologize to you guys because this news is breaking as we were basically 30 seconds from pushing live. So let's go through this together. To avoid arbitraries, administrative adjudication must be consistent and predictable, following the basic principle that similar cases should be treated similarly. New York Stock Exchange, ARCA, presented substantial evidence that Grayscale is similar across the relevant regulatory factors to Bitcoin futures ETPs, electronically traded products. The commission failed to adequately explain why it approved the listing of two Bitcoin futures ETPs, but not Grayscale's proposed Bitcoin ETP. This is such an incredible, huge win towards the hope, because remember, it was still a hope. It still is a hope in regards to all the spot ETF applications that are out. Blackrock, Bitwise, 21 Shares, ARK Invest. There's quite a list. Grayscale. There's a list, I think, of about 12 different companies that have applications in. And this is showing, much like Judge Torres's ruling on the XRP case, we're seeing that we have some people in our government that have an idea how to read the law unbiasedly and not try to use it to their tool set to keep things the status quo as it was before. Just like that song from Oliver Anthony, Rich Men North of Richmond. You haven't seen it, look it up on YouTube, sit there and wonder and how freaking perfect his lyrics are. And this is what this is a huge win in the sentiment and the potentiality of the spot ETF's likelihood. Now, in the absence of a coherent explanation, this unlike regulatory treatment of like products is unlawful. What does this mean? You're not treating Grayscale the way you treated the same type of product that was just called something else. It's like saying, I have this sponge. This is allowed to be sold at the store. This sponge is basically identical. You can't sell that. Why? Because my buddy owns this company, not this company. That's essentially what's happening. We therefore grant Grayscale's petition for review and vacate the commission's order. So ordered. Holy moly, guacamole. I got to say it. That's a shout out to you, Mr. Fibonacci's and Guac here in chat. And shout out to everybody that's here with us on a daily basis. I love each and every one of you, and I appreciate, especially with everything going on in the markets right now, especially with everything going on in our parent company and our family. Remember, I don't work anywhere, ever. I do things that I care about, and I align with people that I feel like I can adapt and I can adopt into my chosen family. Every one of you is my chosen family. Everybody I work with here at Hit Network, chosen family. And you know what? I'm so honored that I could do this with you all on a daily basis. I love each and every one of you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. Now let's go ahead and continue on with this. Is there any other? I mean, I'm sure it's just going to be all. Okay, so let's go ahead and if you haven't yet, make sure you head over to the BitLab Academy Twitter page right here at Academy BitLab. Make sure you're following, hit this retweet, hit this like button. We do a drawing every week. We've given away $100. We've given away almost more than $1,000 worth of BitLab memberships, for individual one we've given lifetimes away. We've given 3 months access to the indicator. We've given all kind of stuff away, and we draw it from the people that come here on the Twitterverse here, Xverse. Hit that follow, hit that retweet, hit that like. This is how we draw. We randomly pick a day, then we randomly pick a name from this. Now let's go ahead and remember, this is almost, it's still going to be relevant, but it's not as relevant. It's just this. I was going to talk about how boring it is. We got to be patient. But look at this. All I was trying to highlight here is this FTX crash. We had a little dip below the blue band. COVID crash. We had the dip into the blue band. This rode just on the top of the blue band. This was in the blue band consolidating on the way up. I mean, from this scale, this just looks almost like a sideways consolidation. If you zoomed in, you know it's 130, 140% push, 50% drop, 80% push, 40% drop. There was a lot of movement in this. But not, we all want this. We want this massive, just God candles and just up and away. And I just want you to pay attention to something on this chart. And you don't get that the majority of time in Bitcoin. In fact, the majority of time in Bitcoin is either down or sideways, because we have these 1.5 year roughly periods of down. And then we have these long periods of consolidation. Down and some consolidation. They're multi-month consolidation, push up, down, consolidation, and we get these brief periods for about 18 months. In reality, it's more like a little under 12 months, because this is the part everybody wants right here. But in order to take advantage of this, you have to be prepared earlier in the market. You have to know when you're smelling blood in the street, so you could take advantage of that opportunity and use fundamental analysis as well as technical analysis, as well as on-chain, whatever tools you want to use. And remember, we go through all that on BitLab Academy. If you ever are watching any analyst, whether it's me or Carl from the Moon or Frankie Candles or Crypto, it doesn't matter. If you're not understanding what's going on, or you do and you're trying to take your game to the next level, head over here to BitLab Academy, and you have all these different courses, video courses that really break down, give you an understanding what's going on. And we still have a huge deal going on right now. I think I might extend it a couple days because everything going on in the market and here at our home. But you can use this Give Me 30 coupon code for 30% off any of the different products. Just put it in once you add it to your cart, add in your email address, and then when you go to billing, you add this code, you get 30% off. Just so you know. So let's go ahead and go on through. We're going to run through this because I want to do TA. Do you guys want to do TA, or do you want to look at the news stories? Let me know in chat. Big love to each and every one of you. Let's go ahead while I'm waiting for y'all the delay. This is also another huge story today. Not only did Grayscale win, Twitter obtained a crypto wallet license in the U.S. state of Rhode Island. And I believe there was another license obtained as well. It might have been payments, but it's been a hectic morning. But this is huge. We don't need to get in all deep on this, but they're building the infrastructure for crypto payments, the multi-use app that Elon Musk was envisioning. So let's talk about that. You know what, dude? I am so proud of each and every one of you. I'm seeing everybody say news first. You guys want the context because you understand how you can use that as an edge to then inform your TA for the strength or weakness or bias direction the market has. Because remember, acknowledge your bias, absolutely. But if you're unable to read and forecast the bias of the market as a whole, then you have no edge. So X, aka previously X, the artist formerly known as Twitter, obtains crypto wallet license in U.S. Rhode Islands. Okay, blah blah blah. This is what I was talking about. The Everything app. The crypto wallet launch plans could also help Musk expand the platform into other financial services that involve cryptocurrency. This is apart from the stock market ecosystem that the billionaire envisions to build within the platform. So this is what we want to talk about. I like, so this is nice. It's not just, they're not just saying cryptocurrencies, they're saying stock market in general, broadly, financial services. I think in reality, the majority of this will probably end up building into crypto, because let's be honest, when we're talking about the next 20 years, financial assets and the things that, especially think about the younger group of people coming up, people 35 and under. The majority of those people over the next 10 years aren't going to say, man, I should go and buy that stock. They're going to say, what digital assets do you hold? And that's going to be, that is the new phase. So crypto payments, it is building the digital asset infrastructure for the future, and building for any business, especially something like the behemoth of a social media company that X is, building this in to not only to the roadmap, but we can see them actively doing that as they're building out the infrastructure, and we're seeing different things embedded in their code. And I mean, this is going to be absolutely massive. We're going to take a look at Doge too. And I'm not a big fan of Doge, but I think in terms of with the association with Twitter, X, and Elon Musk, it'll be interesting to see what that looks like. But we're going to be looking at Bitcoin, just so you know. We're going to be doing TA here in just a moment on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, XRP, AVAX, Doge. We're going to be TurboTA, and we're going to try and see what's going on so we can get these setups. Now, I just want to ask every single one of you in the room right now, we've got a good group. We got 553 people. If this is your first time here, I guarantee it's not going to be your last time here. I didn't even introduce myself at the beginning. My name's Kellam. Welcome to the BitLab Academy stream. I'm happy to have you here. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. Let's go ahead and get through this. Let's look at what's going on in the rest of the markets. We're going to go really quickly through the rest of the news, because I want to get in and have 45 minutes or so to do a bunch of TA. So stick with us here. And by the way, just want to let you know I appreciate each and every one of you. And if this is your first time here, drop something in the chat. Let us know you're new here. We got a wonderful, warm, positive community. I'm actually going to turn down, there's a limit right now on how long you have to be a subscriber before you can comment. I'm going to put that back to 1 minute. I was just trying to, can I change that? I don't know where to change that. Customization, maybe? There it is. Boom. Yeah. All positively. We don't do trolls here. We can comment on anything, but it's with positive, it's with a positive impact. What's our solution if there is an issue? Now, I love you all. Appreciate you all. Let's keep going on this. Now, we talked about X. What's the next thing? Okay. This was just a long-term holders patterns breaking down cost basis and NVRV cycles. I just want to let you all know, if you don't like on-chain data, I would argue that you maybe don't understand it, because it's not something you're going to utilize to take a scalp trade or a day trade on, but it will give you forecasting ideas about what the behavior of different types of market participants are in various parts of the cycle, which can give you a leading indication based on their behavior. If you're starting to see long-term holder wallets stacking up Bitcoin, and you've been in a bear market for 11 months, and you also see price action go below the long-term holder cost basis, and you see that short-term holder cost basis is coming up to cross the long-term holder cost basis, aka what's the average price of every Bitcoin held by long-term holders the last time it was sold, versus what's the average price of what all the Bitcoin are in circulation that are held by short-term holders long-term that were sold. So you can get this dynamic and these analytics that give you great indication about what's going on in different parts of the market, as well as potential tops based on certain things being overheated. And then you can combine that to where you can pull the trigger on where your trades are going to be executed, or how you're going to ladder in or ladder out, utilizing your technical analysis, being forecasted to even look for those signals by on-chain data. So in this case, I don't want to get too deep into this. I just kind of explained it to you, but and the charts aren't loading. So let's move on to the next thing. You get it. Bitcoin ETF approval by US. This is interesting. Now, considering we just got that Grayscale news, Bitcoin and crypto market recovery likely this week. Experts point to much awaited decision from Grayscale. So we already got that. The Grayscale ruling is likely to happen on Tuesday. We got it. Moreover, the SEC decided the SEC to decide on 6 Bitcoin ETF applications by leading asset management firms. The ETF applications submitted by Bitwise, Blackrock, VanEck, WisdomTree, and Invesco are expected to receive responses by the end of the week. Now, let me know in chat right now. Do you think that this Grayscale decision, or sorry, this Grayscale win over the SEC in this court case, do you think, 2 questions. Do you think as an individual that this is going to make, there's a higher than 50% likelihood we're going to get a spot ETF approval by the end of this week? And then the other question you always have to ask yourself is, what do you expect the market will think about that? We always have to consider that. Understand, investigate your heart, investigate your mind and your skill set about what you think is going to happen. And then ask yourself, do you think you're part of the minority or the majority? And how can you weigh that against your analysis to make smart decisions? Yeah. Martin48 says this seems positive. This does seem positive, but I don't think we're just going to get the. Also, I want you all to consider this. There's one thing that I would lean into thinking here, and unfortunately, I don't think that Gary Gensler is making decisions based on the data present in terms of a lot of the allegations he's been throwing around. I think he's actually being pressured by big banking and government and other things like that to make some of the decisions that he's making. And I also think he's very petty. So in some capacity, we can also consider that if they just lost an SEC case against Grayscale, and all that case says is they need to basically re-look at these things. There's not a timeline on it, but they just got spent. The SEC just got a little slap on the wrist right now saying, hey, like, what the hell are you guys doing? Does this incentivize them to, does it incentivize them or not to approve something this week? Or kind of stick with what a lot of people have been expecting, which is ETF approvals to come likely towards the end of the year or beginning of next, somewhere between December and the beginning of February. I don't know. So let's go ahead and dive back in here. Let's see. I don't even know what to go to now because that news just shook so many things up. So SEC commissioners challenging the NFT related enforcement action. This is good. There's 2 people in the SEC that are challenging what the SEC is doing. We're starting to see some broader minded people here. Let's continue on with that. I just wanted to point that out. This is before we had this huge news. Okay, we have the anticipation of the spot ETFs. We have the Grayscale versus, we just got that. Let's see what this says. It says the case that could open doors. Grayscale's case versus SEC is kind of a backdoor for a spot ETF approval. The DC Circuit Court of Appeals could force the SEC to approve a spot ETF on the reasoning that they already approved several Bitcoin future ETFs. Current indications suggest a verdict in the, we got that today. Decisions are typically released on Tuesdays. Got it. Historically, 94% of such cases are resolved within 160 days with the lengthiest 174 days. So, okay, we got the decision. So we got all this. So positive. The other thing that I was going to talk about today, I'm just going to gloss over it because I want to get into these charts, everybody. I'm so pumped right now, and I'm so happy. Even though I thought there was going to be more downside, I thought there were. I thought there was not that there was going to be. I thought that there was a reasonable possibility that we could either get a wick down or a flush out down to somewhere between 23,750. You know, that sort of range. But I still DCA'd because that was part of my strategy. And I didn't do it with all my capital. I did it with the amount that I DCA. And now we get the market moving. And that's what happens when you have strategies to take on risk, but also strategies to help remove risk. You need a bit of both. You have to be a calculated degen. Now, let's come back over here. I want to see if there's anything. Okay, let's see from Decrypt. Boom. Let's see what this says right here. We got a news article already written about it. Man, guys, I'm feeling good today. Everybody hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. We got 599 people in the room, only 213 likes. If we get over 325 likes, let's do 350. If we get over 350 likes here in the next 15 minutes, I will give away a lifetime membership to the BitLab Trading Stack, all the indicators. Everybody hit that like button right now. Now let's go ahead and get in here. Let's see what this says. Grayscale wins appeal against SEC to convert Bitcoin Trust to ETF. Remember, Grayscale has been in the kind of the best position out of everybody. Now Blackrock came in with their big swing, and I'm not going to say it, but you know what I'm saying. Blackrock came in and everybody thinks so they may be more likely because they have a lot of ties to a lot of things. However, Grayscale's been in this game. This is their block. They've been building the infrastructure for a spot ETF, for an ETF utilizing the GBTC for several years now. They've got, I don't even know, it's over 600,000. They have 650,000 or something Bitcoin that they're currently holding. So when you buy GBTC stock, you're getting a share representation of Bitcoin. Now, what does this mean? GBTC is Grayscale's flagship Bitcoin fund with $16 billion in assets under management. Now, remember, this is pennies compared to Blackrock, but Grayscale was the first on the block with all this. BlackRock's got $9 to $10 trillion in assets under management, but it's a broad basket of different assets globally. Grayscale is a Bitcoin-focused trust, and they have the largest amount of Bitcoin than I think of anybody in the world, even in countries and stuff. A judge has ordered that the Securities Exchange Commission denial. Basically their denial. This is what we all need to realize. As excited as we are, this is the truth of the situation. SEC denial of Grayscale spot Bitcoin ETF application be reviewed. So this does not mean that the ETF is good to go. Let's go. It's all good. No, this is saying, hey, what the hell are you doing? The ruling that you made just so quickly and with not in kind with like product, which is essentially what the wording we just read a second ago, suggests that, you know, there's still a little bit of work to be done. This is a step in the right direction. The decision represents a landmark moment for Bitcoin. The SEC has denied several applications for spot Bitcoin ETFs, which allow investors to gain exposure to Bitcoin without holding the coin. So just so you all know, for a couple of years now, and a lot of people don't realize this. And if you're a Bitcoiner, if you trade and you also know other people in your family, maybe they don't have the technical know-how, or they just don't want to be in crypto, but they do. But you've been able to buy GBTC for the last couple of years. And in fact, there tends to be a premium or a negative premium on GBTC. In fact, near the bear market lows, there was like a minus 40% premium to where you could buy, essentially getting stock exposure to Bitcoin, but you're getting a 40% more representation of Bitcoin because of the negative premium, because of the lack of interest. And why would that be? Because on GBTC, somebody's buying that. That means likely a lot of those people are not people that, it's like traditionally minded people. And so if Bitcoin's doing bad and there's FUD out there, then there's not interest to be buying that. So that the value of that stock is going down, not in parity. Not in parity with, there's some weird talk in there. Not in parity with where the Bitcoin price is going. So you've had opportunities to get different kinds of exposure to Bitcoin. And sometimes at the market tops, when everybody's trying to flood in, you'll get a premium where it costs, you pay amount and you get less of a representation based on the interest of this GBTC product. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out, because the court explained the SEC lacked a coherent explanation of the denial, or for the denial. The commission failed to adequately explain why it approved the listings of two. We already read this. Grayscale applauded the decision. This is a monumental step forward for American investors, the Bitcoin ecosystem, and all those who have been advocating for Bitcoin exposure through the added protections of the ETF wrapper. A Grayscale spokesperson said, the Grayscale team and our legal advisors are actively reviewing the details outlined in the court's opinion and will be pursuing next steps with the SEC. So again, this changes the sentiment. It gives the sentiment an injection. Look at that, 27,440. It's given an injection to our sentiment, but this is not yet all systems go. This is the rocket on the launch pad. They're doing some inspection checks. Some of those inspection checks on that rocket have been signed off. And there was a little bit of issue on this little wire over here. So let's get another clinician to come in and check it. It's there. It's ready. Everybody thinks, you know, they think it's just going to go. There's still some work to be done. So don't get trapped. Do you see this move right here? I want you to notice something. The very top of this wick, somebody bought the very top of that wick. Now, that may not be a bad buy. If you don't have the resilience and the strategy in place to allow you to buy, and you're basically buying to hold this through this next halving into whatever the next market cycle top is, whether it's 70,000, 130,000, 240,000, who knows what it's going to be. I'm just saying, if you're not looking for a longer term position trade, then this was an absolute stupid buy right here. Because if you're buying here, I could also argue that you're not looking at technicals. And in this case, you're buying the hope of a green candle, which means if you're buying the hope of a green candle, there's a very strong likelihood the second this starts pulling back that you sell. And maybe you sell here, maybe you sell down here. And this is how most people get trapped. Because you're buying hope and you're selling fear rather than buying fear and selling hope. In fact, if we come over here, let me go off my screen. If we come over here to I'm pulling up Glassnode. I know you can't see it. I'm just, I got some login information on here. I had to go off the screen. Boom. All right. There's too many different programs here. I'm only going to spend about 3 more minutes on Bitcoin. I'm going to do some quick TA on that. We're going to get through all your altcoins. What altcoins are you hoping go up? Which one is your biggest holding? Let me know in the comments right here. Drop it down below if you're watching later. And by the way, if you are watching over on Hit Network, shout out to everybody there. But head over to the youtube.com/@BitLab Academy. Give us a follow here. All we do is break down what's going on in the markets, give you tools, give you strategies, give you skills so that you can navigate these markets in a healthy way. Bridge that gap from beginner to pro. Big shout out to everybody that's here. Now, coming back over to Glassnode, I just want to point something out to you. On-chain data sucks. It doesn't work. Bleh. Okay, well, you're ignorant and you don't understand how to read it. That's my argument there. And you know what? That argument's not only an argument, that's a fact. Because if you really look at this data, it gives you an indication of what's going on. The most simple one you can see, where's the wallet addresses over 10,000? I think we can do it here too. Wallet addresses over 1,000. Look, we zoom in on this. You could see people with a huge amount of Bitcoin, they start selling right here. Huge amount of Bitcoin say, hey, it's feeling pretty toppy. What happens? Huge expansion of momentum Bitcoin price. Much smaller expansion in Bitcoin bullish price, bullish momentum, I mean. Much smaller. And now we have a new low, a new lower high, and then this breaks down. This was signaling right here that, 1,000 Bitcoin is not anything to sneeze at. That's a lot of Bitcoin. Now you could have seen that with even the bigger money, 10,000. Where did they start selling? Right here. You see this orange line? This addresses with the balance of over 10,000. Why is this dropping? Because they're selling their Bitcoin. Where are they selling at? What price point is this? Look at that, 19,437. What is that price level? That's basically roughly the previous market cycle's high. So the second we broke the previous market cycle high, people started de-risking. They started taking profits into the strength of the bull run. So is on-chain data going to give you the signal of exactly, not necessarily if you're an active trader. If you're an investor, you could use it almost exclusively. But either way, if you're an investor or an active trader, it gives you front-running ideas about what the behavior is of different types of individuals within the market. And again, in the BitLab Academy, we've got a whole on-chain data course here with 19 or 20 different lessons. We break down all kinds of different charts so you can identify likely setups for market cycle tops or market cycle bottoms, understand how to navigate this market. So again, you can use that code GIVEME30 for any of the different options that we have here. All you have to do is click right here, enroll now. And if you are a very newcomer, we do have a beginner's course, which is free right here. Sign up for free. We got blockchain, Bitcoin 101, crypto beginner's course. If you want the all access to all the courses and our premium Discord right here, boom, you can use Give Me 30 on this one. And we also have the BitLab Pro, which is all the courses, the premium Discord, as well as all of our indicators. If you just want the indicators, which we're about to break down, come right here to BitLab Indicators, use that code Give Me 30 and you get 30% off. Now, we got to pay our rent, guys, right? And we got a wonderful community. So we've talked about the news. We've talked about everything else. Let's break down these charts. What the hell's going on? Okay, come in here. Let's look at the 8-hour chart. I'm going to zoom out real quick for anybody that's new here. What are we looking at? Let's actually go to this cleaner chart I have right here. Cleaner chart right here. Now, remember, everybody, price was here. This is not Bitcoin. Here we go. All right. Price was right here, maybe right here. And I was calling for 1, 2, 3 potential breakdown, which was the 382, the 0.5, and then the 618, which was, we can actually see it right here. Option F, take this to the top. So we had the 382. This is when the price was over here on BitBoy Crypto. The community was saying, man, you're so bearish, because everybody wants it to go up. But we're near the top side of this range that we've gotten rejected off multiple times. We had downtrend resistance range that we came into. There was no follow through to get through $31,000. And at this level, I said, I feel like we're going to test these levels, the 382, the 0.5, and the 618. What happened over the course of the next 2.5 weeks? Price started tapping here, held right on 382, dipped down. We see this little bounce here at the 0.5, and then this just fell through. We had a, pretty big, news events and fear in the market, and fell through. So what are we doing now? Delete some lines here. Well, I talked about it yesterday. And look, by the way, I did not set this up today. I drew this yesterday. In fact, I shared it during the TA section on the BitBoy Crypto Show. I marked out 2 levels. Essentially, it was this 27,416 and 23,750 based on where I thought was likely for the price to go next. 2 opportunities, because there's 2 different big there's 2 options from the huge narratives that were coming out this week. That is, we get some really good news and market is just going to be jolted. Why? Because there's going to be a lot of people that have shorts that get liquidated when that news comes out. Boom. Similarly, there's going to be people that do have longs at this level, and when the bad news comes out, those get liquidated and come down, as well as the last bit or some of the remaining bullish hopium gets destroyed, and people also just say, I want to get out before this drops. And these are these 2 levels. And look at basically regionally, where did this go? Right into this order block. What's the order block? Part of the BitLab volume. All these indicators that are on here are part of the BitLab trading stack. We can see right here with this trend fuel. This has just been consolidating on the stochastics. This has been consolidating on the RSI. The money flow is slightly coming up. And, if we come down to a smaller time frame, we can see before this move happened, I want you to notice this. Before this move happened, this had already been bouncing here. Look at this reversal candle signal right here on the BitLab trend fuel, BitLab intelligence. Again, all 3 of these indicators, it's basically the BitLab trading stack. But look, this momentum, the stochastics bottomed out over here. Stochastics are starting to come up. We see this. It was right at this point right here, option V. This is a point at which this eclipsed and started rolling back over. And look at this. On this candle right here, candle before, we started getting we started getting a lot of this buying volume. So in addition to all of this, one of my favorite signals on the BitLab trading stack is this weekly VWAP. When we're really bearish, if we're not above the weekly VWAP on a trend, then we are bearish. If we cannot, like in this case, we broke above it and fell right back below it, rejected. Now look at this. The shift of pace here, we broke above it, found support, came down a little bit of a fake out to the downside, right at the weekly VWAP. And now we've just completely demolished this. And where are we testing? We've tested right here into this order block, which is high interest, previous high interest zone for where a lot of clusters of orders from large people in the markets were putting orders in the books. And so what happens? We also have this, remember, we have this golden pocket from that major move, which essentially is right here within this 27.2 to 27.435. And we have this order block, which is why, between this golden pocket and the order block, which is why I chose to put this here, even though we had this basically fast running, we can even see on the BitLab intelligence, these purple candles, the reason they're purple is because they're high volume candles. There's high volume selling pressure. And we get this little stopping volume yellow, a little bit of continuation stopping volume yellow, and then we actually have stopped and we consolidated over. Then we have a high volume candle to the upside, stopping volume, which is a yellow candle, and then we get rejected back down. Now the question here, we're on the 4 hour. Let's get a little bit more microscopic. Let's look into this a little bit. What's going to happen here? The question is this going to, are people going to come to their senses and realize this, all this currently is a sentiment injection? There's nothing fundamentally that's changed other than the fact that they've said that, what was it? Essentially that this was not a decision. It's only that it needs to be reviewed. So how much of this sentiment is going to carry forward? We have the big green candles here on the 24-minute, the teal candles. We're far above this dynamic support zone. Remember, all this is part of the BitLab intelligence. We're seeing this push. We got this doji candle. Now we have stopping volume. So the question here is going to be, is the sentiment going to hold and we're going to form something like a bit of a bull flag here? And if that were the case, let's do a little bit. Let's be a little hopium people here today, just to see if this does turn into a bull flag and this breaks to the upside. Where does that bring us back to? That brings us, look at that, option J. That brings us back perfectly to where the price broke down from. Isn't that crazy? This move, if I'm not saying it's a bull flag, if this turns into a bull flag or a bull pennant, then the measured move out of this goes right back to where the previous lows are. And what would that look like? What shape is this on the chart? This would be an inverted Bart Simpson. Move down fast, likely move up fast if it does. And that's what it's starting to shape out to look like. So we're going to have to pay attention here. Now, what I want to do here is if this does retrace, say we've met a local top here, right here, option J, right here at 27,750. Let's use our quick keys. Everybody likes to spend all this time. No, right here, put your mouse on the bottom. Don't click anything. Press option F if you're on Mac. I think it's alt F if you're on PC. Then you can just click. You have your Fibonacci. Go to the top. So now look at this. Very interesting. We have an order block right here from previous price action on the 1 hour. These order blocks are areas that price action tends to get attracted back to. And where is the golden pocket on this move? Directly on top of this order block. So if this price action does work its way down here, this is also roughly the previous high of this range. So it would make a lot of sense if there's going to be bullish sentiment. If you are a bull based on the diligence that you do in reading these charts and using the BitLab trading stack and using the different elements at your disposal to make a smart decision, if the price action does pull back, holding this level would be, bouncing off the 382 would be really the most bullish if it does pull back. But coming back to here is not like, oh my God, it's going all the way back down. If we hold above the 26,600 zone, 26,600 to 26,700, if we hold this zone and then work our way up, that would be fine. That would be wonderful. So let's be patient and see on Bitcoin. What did this do to Ethereum? So Ethereum, we got the same move. Now, yeah. You know what I actually want to look at real quick? I want to look at something here. Let's do option F, top, bottom. That's interesting. So this breakdown here, I know it looks like a lot of lines, but this breakdown here, the golden pocket on the way up, interestingly, look at this. This is so interesting. Interestingly, this is the golden pocket from the bigger move that we broke down from. This is a golden pocket from the actual breakdown, this breakdown here, and look at where price is right now. Price is sitting, basically broke through the bottom golden pocket. It's fine. Now it's losing it, but we basically tapped up right between these two. We're literally in the pocket of the golden pockets, interestingly. So that's kind of interesting. So now again, if you don't get fearful just because we're having a little bit of a pullback, understand what your strategy is in your time horizon. We do have stopping volume now. This is we saw this is only we could get a large wick down and come back up, whatever, but we want to see what happens with this candle closure and a little bit more context before we figure out what's going on. This is what I'm looking at right now. I want to hold 26,000, basically 660, 680. Now Ethereum, same thing. I mean, we could take the move here, option F, bottom to top, alt F if you're on PC. Golden pocket would be right here. Okay, so we could just delete that. You can see we want to, on the bullish case, if this does pull back and look for a bounce to go up, I'd like it to hold above 1677. Now, if we create the bull flag, where does that take us? If this, remember, I'm not saying there's a bull flag at all. I'm just saying what's going to be the potential if that happens. And that would take us up to where, look at that, previous level. We already had this drawn out, 1815 sort of zone. Amazing how price, so it gives some indication that it's, you know, it could be likely because of the way the price action is moving. We want to see what the context is over the next couple of days, you know, through the end of the week, because we have PCE data coming out. We got a number of different things happening. Where is it at? Right. Got a number of different things. Big week for crypto. Now there was something else. I don't know. It's somewhere in there. Too many. I have too many. There's so much news in the last 2 days. Let's go down to the 24-minute. 24-minute. You guys see this? You see this right here? I did my idea of what was likely to happen to a price action from this point, and I drew it right here because the price wasn't here yet. And what happened? I mean, just that consolidation sideways. Exactly what that was doing, because there wasn't any indication of a likely move. Now, I do remember we did here on Ethereum draw out the potential of a diamond pattern that we had right here. I was about to draw it again, but we see it. This actually ended up extending out a little bit more like this. And these diamond patterns can be a good indication of a potential reversal. What currently we got the reversal. Our question now is not it's going to the moon. What is the data here? Is this going to be a liquidity trap to the upside, bull trap, only to reverse back down, to reverse below this, get that full flush out with the bear trap to the downside, maybe somewhere down in this region down here, 1540, 1565, to come back up and work its way up? I don't know. All right, now what we can see is we had, you know, this wave. We had a bullish divergence here. It didn't quite follow through. We had this wave. We had a lot of buying volume here, which is why here on the BitLab Trim Fuel, part of the BitLab trading stack, on this momentum wave, on each one of these candles right here, we see on this, I'm pointing down here, the reason they're green, if you zoom in here, you can see they're green, is because there was a lot of buying pressure, a lot of buying volume. In addition to that, we also see a similar metric here in the candles. Now, as it stands right now, it's looking like this may come back down. If you don't want to use Fibonacci's, great. We got you with the BitLab. We got the dynamic support zone here, as well as this EMA ribbon with this 20 exponential moving average as well. Where the hell is it? Yeah, so we got the 20 exponential moving average, this dynamic support zone, and then the 50 moving average right here, and the weekly VWAPs all the way down here. So the price action, even if you're not using Fibonacci, shows support if we do come down. If we come down and we lose, yes, sir, I'm good for TA. I'm excited about it. Doing some TA on BitBoy Crypto later. Breaking down because the markets are moving. What are we talking about here? So if we come down and we lose this 50, this trend signal line, this is kind of like if we lose 1660, I do think prices not only testing here, but probably testing a little bit of liquidity to the downside. Let's go through TurboTA here in the next couple minutes. Cardano, same thing. Where to go to? Touched right in the order block. It's tempting down. Now we have both these levels here with the weekly VWAP being the lowest, but the 20 exponential moving average, if this comes down and finds support on that and bounces, that's ultimately quite bullish. If we lose about 26, if we lose 26 cents, I do think we're going back lower. GRT, what are you looking at? I'm just going down my list that I have so I can do it very quickly. Look at that. We broke not only up, we broke this previous level here, we broke into this order block, and we broke this downtrend level of resistance. So GRT is looking set up. GRT not only pushed up, we have stopping volume. Currently, it found support on this line. If this can find support here and bounce and break above 9.36 cents, or actually it's going to be, let's say 9.4, then I do think that this is likely going to continue up. If we lose this level, then we may be coming back down to test down in the 8.9 to 8.7 sort of zone. And then if we lose that, then we're probably continuing lower. AVAX had a pretty pretty strong push to the upside. We're getting a little bit stronger of a sell-off here, but we did have a move that was running before the run even started. So as it looks right now, we do have this momentum wave triggered up, but we do see, look at this, this RSI signaled right here is where it peaked. And the next candle, it was already coming down. It was already coming down, and we had stopping volume here. Now this is coming down. Now what we want to see here is, are we going to hold this sort of point of control level that we have right here? Sorry. Which is directly below us. I think we'd probably test a little lower, right? See where this line is right here? This is giving you levels based on where the high volume candle peaked out. And it gives you a good idea, especially with the high volume candle, a good area for price action to potentially come back and test. And so that would put us down to 1071. Ultimately, if we can hold 1071, I think this is going to bounce and continue up. If we lose this, I think we're coming back down into the 1044 to 1050 sort of zone. Quant, what are you looking like, Quant? Quant, where'd it go? Guys, these order blocks in the BitLab volume, part of the BitLab trading stack, where'd it go? Boom, that gave you the level that you're looking at. Came right into the zone below this other order block. We have stopping volume, but look at this. Came down, found support on the weekly VWAP right here. Not even all the way down to the 20 exponential moving average. It came right here. In fact, the wick came down and touched the EMA ribbon here from the BitLab intelligence. So right, if we do lose the VWAP and come down and test into the zone, I'm going to be a little concerned. But we can revisit that when that comes. Because look at this on the right. We're on the 24-minute. Okay. Look at this on the right. If I go right here, oh, one just flipped. We had green. We had red, red, red. Now we have one of the. This is the dashboard for the BitLab Trim Fuel. So quick look. What are the various indications on the indicator? Are we seeing bullish, bearish, or neutral sort of signals? So we got anything else that we want to look at? ICP, same thing. All of them are going to look very similarly. Let's go back to Bitcoin, do a final little word here, and see what's going to go on here. So look at this, 24-minute. We had this large swinging move. The concern here is that the stochastics on the 24-minute are fairly high, and they tend to go up and bounce. It's not like on the daily where you can have stochastics and RSI high for a period of time. This will tend to move a bit more. We see stochastics are all the way up here. I'm looking over here at the right, what the measurement is. That's right about 90%. That's pretty hot. RSI is already starting to move down. What's going to happen with the follow through here? If we can consolidate a little bit here and form that bull flag, then potentially the stochastic can cool off and come down a little bit. The other thing, remember with Bitcoin, if we come down to that 26,700, then that's a level that we could be watching for support. So this isn't the end of the world if this pulls back. Now, I just want to tell each and every one of you again, if you want to know more information about how to get involved with BitLab, how to understand how to read these charts, head over to BitLab Academy, enroll, or come here to the indicators and sign up here. Remember, getting that BitLab Pro gives you the premium access to the Discord, all the courses, as well as the indicators, and you can use that code GIVEME30 when you go in and proceed to billing. I love you all. I appreciate y'all. I got to head over and do some TA with DZ and the crew. So I love you. Again, I appreciate all of y'all being here and keeping it positive. Let's go over to the BitBoy channel. Let's bring positivity. Let's bring balance. Let's acknowledge that there's some things that need to play out and some more information will come out, in time. All things are done in love and patience. I love you. I appreciate you. And with that, I bid you adieu. Adios. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always tuning in. I love you guys. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Ding that bell. Get involved at bitlabacademy.com. Take your education further. Adios.